Atlas in the hot seat tonight.
And Atlas.
Goes by the name of Atlas the Bookkeeper. How you feeling, my friend?
Okay. We have another tip to shout out. This is a $1.50 tip. In the future, I hope you avoid taking bait from Concerned Trolls. That guy in the chat before the podcast started talking about who's going to buy a shirt was an example. No, you're right. What it is people will come in and they'll be like, oh, I'm so concerned about what I heard from your detractors. Like, it's bullshit. I know that. But the sad fact is, this is actually how things have happened to me over the years that are bad. Here's why. Because I always ignored it, right? My detractors would make something up completely. And then they would present it as fact. And because I would ignore it and never address it, people would actually believe it and be like, well, since Phil's not addressing it, it must be true. That's why he's not addressing it, because he has nothing to say to it, right? So literally, if I didn't do that segment at the beginning of the podcast about this Philomania logo to prove that I'm in the legal right, I'm good to go to sell merch, these idiots would have been all over the internet. Don't buy the merch. Phil stole the logo. Phil's a thief and he hurts artists. And then they would try to go to artists and be like, can you join our cause to be anti-Darkside Phil because he steals from artists? I'm not kidding you. These people are that big of losers. You understand? So if I ignore their bullshit, they get the one up on me because they cause all this drama around me that I'm not even involved in. And the next thing you know, what happens if I open this merch shop and people won't buy merch now because they're afraid that I'm a thief, right? So sadly, I have to fucking do this kind of stuff. It sucks. I don't want to have to waste a 20-minute segment on my podcast on it, but I have to because this is how it works. Now, the truth of the matter is, guess what? They just gave me content. Like, they literally handed me content for my show today and said, here's some content, because that segment will be a clip and it'll be, you know what I mean? It's just dumb as hell because they don't understand that they don't have a leg to stand on. When they make shit up, I'm always going to call them out from now on. I've had enough. I told you guys this. I started with Duty. We moved on to Super Crazy. We're going to keep this up. I've had enough with their bullshit. Every single time that they call out and say nonsense, right? I'm going to fucking call it out. So that way, number one, I get free content. And number two, no one can say these awful things about me because all the evidence is right there on the internet. So there you go. That simple. And by the way, if they continue to repeat, like I just proved that I'm legally using this, I'm in a right. If they continue the slander, they might get slapped with something that they don't really like. Let's just put it that way. Because if I keep getting slandered by people, I think I've had enough. Like, there's a difference between, oh, I don't like Phil, he's fat, or Phil has said to hurt people when I never did. Phil is stealing the logo when I never did. That's grounds for a defamation lawsuit. It really is. So we're going to see how much they want to fucking play. All right? Because if I have an established history of someone who does this over and over and over and constantly causes this defamation against me on the internet, that 100% is a slap bang easy case to win. Okay? You know, it's one thing if it happens once, but if there's someone who has an established history of doing it, they're fucked. So they're going to have to start watching themselves, because at this point, you get to the point where it's like, do I really want to have to constantly defend myself against more bullshit they made up? No, of course I don't. And I shouldn't have to. These people should be held legally accountable for their actions. So we'll see how that goes. Okay? All right. Anyway, so thanks for the $1.50 tip. And so you're the top tipper, but both of these tips were anonymous.